Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Hare.
Hare Krishna, everyone. 7 o'clock. So we are going to read Srimad
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll continue. This fourth canto, 20th chapter, 31st verse. Lord Vishnu's appearance in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Prthu. Tvanmaya adha jana isha khandito yadanya asashta ritatmano buddha yatha charet balahitam pita swayam tatha tvam evarhasina samhitum. My Lord, Prithu Maharaj is telling Lord Vishnu, due to your illusory energy, all living beings in the material world have forgotten the real constitutional position. And out of ignorance, they are always desirous of material happiness in the form of society, friendship, and love. Therefore, please do not ask me to take some material benefits from you. But as father, not waiting for the son's demand, does everything for the benefit of the son, please bestow upon me whatever you think best for me. So, we have forgotten who we are. Jivere Swarup Hoy Krishna Nitya Das, that we have forgotten. Because of the influence of Maya, the illusory energy makes us forget our real identity, who we are. And out of ignorance, we are trying to enjoy in this material world, which is a place of suffering, trying to find happiness. Now, everybody wants happiness, right? That's the nature of the soul. We want to love others and we want to be loved by others. That is the inherent desire of every living entity. So we can have a loving relationship with everybody. But that loving relationship should not make us forget God. God should be in the center of that relationship. Then there could be friendship, society, everything. Like we have our society also, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. But there is loving exchange between devotees. There is love. Everybody is looking for love. And they want to be loved by others. So with Krishna in the center, there are 6 loving exchanges between devotees. Tadati pratigrinati guhyamakhyati prichati bhumte bojayate chaiva shadvita priti lakshanam. Right, these are the 6 exchanges. So without love, just dry philosophy cannot sustain anybody. So when there is loving relationship among devotees with Krishna in the center, helping each other become Krishna conscious, taking care of each other, then there is satisfaction of the heart. So what attracts somebody to come into a society like our ISKCON society is that when they feel loved, the philosophy is there. Prabhupada says, when somebody leaves the society, it is not that they have problems with the philosophy. It is because they don't feel loved in that society. They don't feel appreciated or valued in the society. That's why they leave. So some people they will come in the society if they feel that there is loving relationship, people care for me. Because ultimately people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So Prabhupada, everybody could feel, although there were so many disciples, and how could Prabhupada, look after the needs of every disciple and so many different devotees in the movement, but somehow they felt that Srila Prabhupada loves them. And then if they are in a temple where the temple commander and the temple president, and some temples like Chopati, Pune, they are flourishing because there is care and concern, and there is Krishna in the center, and so people come and join, and they like to be a part of this. But if nobody cares for anybody else, and then people are not inclined to join. That's like outside. So what is the difference between outside and joining ISKCON? So devotees should care for each other, and in this way, they will feel like to they'll feel welcomed, and they'll feel good to be part of the society. So here Prithu Maharaj is saying, "You are my father, and father will always provide whatever a child needs." Like mother, right? When she takes out her child in the cold, then she'll put on the jacket, or covering the ears and gloves and whatever. The child doesn't know it's going out in the cold. It could as well go out in the cold without any warm clothes, right? But the parents know, no, no, my child needs this, otherwise the child will catch a cold. So just as the child's needs are fulfilled by the parents, similarly, please, do whatever is good for me. I don't know what is good for me, but you do what is good for me. So, so Krishna will arrange situations in our life, everything to purify our heart. So sometimes we don't know, and sometimes we may get into distress, but that distressful situation is good for us, because in that distressful situation, we can turn to God, and also give up our hopes of enjoyment in this material world. So that is good. So Krishna makes arrangements. Ultimately, Krishna is a story for everyone, how they are going to come back to Godhead. So he is, um, because everybody is his child, and Krishna wants everybody to come back to Godhead. So he has a plan for every living entity, how to bring that. Because every living entity has different anarthas, and how to purify them of their anarthas. Krishna has a plan. So just like the doctor has a plan for every patient, but every patient's disease is a little different. So they have a plan to cure, how to, some different medicines like that, and different situations. So ultimately, Krishna wants us to become pure and go back home, back to God. So he will do everything. So the devotee feels that whatever Krishna is doing in my life is for my purification. He is my well-wisher, and is doing. Of course, we may be doing something wrong, and then we may say, "Oh, it's Krishna is doing." No, it's not like that. We should not. So we have to take guidance from Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, and then do things. Otherwise, I can do things, wrong things, and then say, "Oh, it is Krishna's plan for me." Not like that. So we have to take guidance also, and check with other devotees whether what I am doing is correct or not, like that. Because the devotees are also representatives of Krishna. So it is the duty of the son to depend upon his father without asking anything from him. The good son has faith that the father knows best how to benefit him. Similarly, a pure devotee does not ask anything from the Lord for material benefit. nor does he ask anything for spiritual benefit. The pure devotee is fully surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord takes charge of him. So basically, he doesn't know what is good for him. So he just surrenders to the Lord, as Prabhupada says. So you tell me what I should do. Basically, that's what it is. Then
But
surrender.
spiritually, we know what is good for us, right? And Prabhupada says we cannot be desireless.
Hmm.
So we have spiritual desires.
Correct. Like when you surrender to the Guru, then the Guru says, okay, you do like this, and then you follow. That's it. So of course, Guru speaks according to Shastra. So he says, okay, you do like this, and then you just, as a in a Prabhupada says, that is surrender. Like in a military, the commander gives order, and the soldier says, okay, the commander has told like this, I will do like this. So when you are under the shelter of a devotee, then the devotee will say, okay, you do like this, and then without thinking, the soldier does not have to think too much. He just tries his best to execute the instruction. If the devotee is completely pure and representative of Krishna, then whatever the devotee says, that is coming from Krishna. So basically, that's kind of the surrender that Prabhupada I think is referring to here.
Mhm. But we have so many prayers, like Prahlad Maharaj is saying, please remove material desires from the core of my heart.
Correct.
Remove the demons. So that's kind of like a spiritual desire.
Hmm. Yeah, it says, yeah, there is, Prabhupada here says, he does not ask anything. So we can ask Krishna, we say in our prayer, I can ask the Lord, Krishna, give me taste for, your holy name, um, like that. So that part is there, of course, yeah, because there are many prayers. Uh, but yeah, sometimes Prabhupada said, first deserve, then desire. Something like that he said. So uh, before we desire, we have to deserve. Means, let's see what Prabhupada says
But we see that the only thing that we can do is desire. Rest, everything follows from there.
about.
Like
Yeah,
I desire to come out of this material world. Krishna, give me the strength, give me direction, give me a guru in life.
yeah. No, yeah, that's correct. We can desire, like I can say, okay, I want to participate in the Ras Leela with Krishna. It's a good desire, but at my level, where I am at, if I'm not even qualified, it's a lofty desire, right? To go to that's good. But what I was saying that step by step cannot jump to. So he's saying here, maybe that is the so first deserve, then desire. So what Sri Prabhupada says. So bhakti means detachment. Vairagya vidya nija bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga means detachment. Our suffering is due to our attachment because we are materially attached. I'm desiring so many things materially. Therefore, Krishna is giving me the opportunity to enjoy that material facility. Whatever I want, whatever I desire, of course, I must deserve. Like, for instance, I want to become millionaire, but my karma has to be such, right, that I can become millionaire. So, in something like that. First deserve, then desire. Suppose if I want to become king. So, I must have pious activities behind me so that I can become king. So, I want to go back to the spiritual world and be. But then I have to be free from the anarthas. Then I can, yeah, I can go up there. So it's like you have to be qualified before you. Desire is good, but to get that desire, you have to have the necessary purification of heart and freedom from material desire. So So yeah, so we can desire then uh, to become free from materialism. So I must have pious activities behind me so that I can become king. But Krishna can fulfill. That is also thing Prabhupada is saying. Whatever you want, Krishna can give you. Krishna can give you even mukti. But he does not very easily give bhakti. Because first we have to be qualified to receive pure bhakti. Because then that will bring Krishna under his control. So that he does not give. Krishna can give you all material gifts, even up to mukti if you want. But when he gives bhakti, oh, that is special consideration. Because when he gives somebody bhakti, he becomes purchased by the bhakta. So therefore he considers become Krishna. Krishna becomes a tool in the hands of bhakta, although he is so supremely powerful, just like Radharani. Uh, the symbol of the topmost bhakti Radharani. So she has purchased Krishna. She has purchased Krishna. She is so powerful. Therefore, Vaishnavas may take shelter of Radhani. And if she recommends, oh, here is a nice Krishna, okay. First of all, become fit. First of all, deserve, then desire. Why foolishly you desire for something which you do not deserve? That is your fault. So, when Krishna sees that he is worshipping with me with faith and reverence and love, he'll give you the intelligence. He is within you. Therefore, I was saying, first of all, become fit. First of all, deserve, then desire. Why foolishly you desire something for which you do not deserve? That is your fault. That is misuse. Don't desire something without being deserving. So these are the processes given how to think, how to meditate upon Krishna. So practice it, become qualified, then you'll see everything. So of course that desire is there. Like I want to become a doctor, but then I have to qualify myself to become doctor. I have to pass the exams and whatever the medical, pre-medical entrance and everything like that. So in that way, he's saying. But yeah, if we pray to Krishna for spiritual desires, that he will fulfill. He likes to fulfill spiritual desires. But in spiritual desires also, there are so many. So it is gradual, step by step. Like Brahma says, the highest devotion is attained in slow degrees by the method of constant endeavor. So Krishna wants to see like how serious we are. They say if you want to get pure bhakti, you have to be serious, sincere, and without ulterior motives. So okay, so many places Prabhupada is saying Krishna is not so easy. First of all, qualify, first deserve, then desire. First deserve, then desire. Just like this sloka, Krishna becomes Sarathi. Does Krishna become Sarathi of a rascal and fool? He becomes Sarathi of Arjuna. That has to be seen. And without any qualification, Krishna become my Sarathi. Krishna is not so easy. First of all, qualify. First deserve, then desire. So how a Krishna conscious person can be desireless? The first is I desire to serve Krishna. That is the beginning, then Krishna will give you chance as you deserve. So ye atha mam prapadyante tansateva bhajami aham. So that's what I was thinking. But yeah, we can always pray, as you were saying, for becoming free from material desires, for progress in bhakti, like that. So, but nor does he ask anything for spiritual benefit. That's a little bit difficult to understand because we can ask Krishna, we are praying to Krishna, right? Please engage me in your service. This Hare Krishna mantra, Prabhupada says, is a prayer. So I don't know what Prabhupada exactly means, nor does he ask anything for spiritual benefit. Means, or here the mood is that I'm obedient. I'm just surrendering. You tell me what to do, I will do that. I don't know what is good for my material benefit or spiritual benefit. I'm just surrendered to you. You just decide what I should do, and I will do that. And if you are in the hands or you are under the guidance of a pure devotee of the Lord, then He will say, you do like this, and then you do like that, and then the pure devotee is pleased, and then Krishna is pleased by the surrender. So, so it is like surrender, like we were reading how in Giriraj Maharaj's book, that they said, okay, now now start temple here, get down here. They will get down. So it is complete obedience. Um, Surrender means completely obedient to the pure devotee's will. So the pure devotee is fully surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord takes charge of him, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. So basically, completely obedient to Krishna's instruction. Krishna is saying, like Radha Maharaj was saying one time, that you make a list of all the instructions that Krishna is giving, and just become obedient and follow every instruction that we find in Prabhupada's books. So, but that's very difficult to do all the instructions, follow all the instructions at once. So at least we can start following some, and then gradually increase more and more like that. So, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami. The Father knows the necessities of the Son and supplies them. And then the Supreme Lord knows the necessities of the living entities and supplies them sumptuously. Therefore, the Ishopanishad states that everything in the material world is complete. Purnam idam. The difficulty is that due to forgetfulness, the living entities create unnecessary demands and entangle themselves in material activities. Now, another thing is that the pure devotee never feels that he has attained the qualification. He always, what is that verse? Krishnera. What is the verse? He doesn't feel that Krishnera.
I have no love for Krishna.
But what is the word? Krishnera Swabhav.
Premera Swabhav, Premera Saman. Say Mane Krishna More Nahi Prema Gavita.
So he remains always humble. He never thinks he's qualified to get anything. But Krishna sees that, yeah, he's having all the qualification and he gives him mercy. But from the devotee's point of view, because he's always humble, he never feels that I'm very great person or anything like that. And this is consistent in the behavior or in the consciousness of all the pure devotees. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has many songs, Narottam Das Thakur and Rupa Goswami also. So everybody is feeling like that. So, and it is not like they are showing that how humble they are. They're actually feeling like that. When actually one makes me, they say, feel I don't have any love for Krishna. Like that. So, therefore the Ishopanishad states that everything in this material world is complete. Purnam idam. Of course, then sometimes we say, well, how do you know, how do we say like that when we actually feel love for Krishna? Then how can we say like that? So, just like you feel love, you can feel it inside you, yeah, that you are thinking of Krishna, you like to do service for Krishna. So Prabhupada also says like that bhakti means you can perceive that bhakti is growing within you because you are feeling it, like as you eat food and you are feeling this. Then how can you say that I have no love for Krishna? Any answers to that?
I think they have this transcendental greed. Whatever taste they are feeling, they think that they can do more. Like here, Prthu Maharaj is saying, I want millions of ears, millions of tongues, so I can do more. There is more bliss, more joy that I want in serving Krishna. So it's the transcendental greed.
Yeah. So they think that maybe they have not done enough, and they don't have enough love for Krishna. They may have slight, maybe, but there is much more. And sometimes we say, like, as you go into this spiritual life, there is no end to how much deep you can go, and how much because it is ever increasing. So,
They say that more you know Krishna, more you know how much you don't know about him. Like, yesterday Prem Vilas Prabhu was saying that the Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami says the sharks, the devotees are the sharks in the ocean and they swim deep. It's a ever unending ocean and very deep. So you can go deeper, deeper. The higher levels of bhakti, right? After prema also there is Mahabha, some all different levels are there. Devotion.
yeah, there is. Ultimately, Radharani has the highest, whatever the pinnacle of devotion is found in Radharani. And nobody can be like Radharani. Sometimes they say.
Yeah, Mahabhav level we can't reach, but there is other levels. Other after prema,
Hmm.
the devotees can reach, but the highest is Mahabhav, which we can't reach.
So Radharani is unique in her devotion to Krishna, and that's how Krishna has made it. So, okay, therefore the Ishopanishad states that everything in the material world is complete, Purnamidam. The difficulty is that due to forgetfulness, the living entities create unnecessary demands and entangle themselves in material activities. So, we have unnecessary desires, like yesterday in the drama. And that boatman was saying, I'm satisfied. I'm doing little bit, I'm earning a little living, and this man from the city or the scientist who was very educated, he was saying, Are you don't know this, you don't know this, and like that. And he was saying, No, I'm very satisfied. So there are simple villagers who are like living their life and simply satisfied and not may not have so many material desires. And there's people who have a lot of material desires, and we complicate our life because of all these desires. Difficulty is that due to forgetfulness. So what is that? Prema sneha. What did you put here? Prema sneha mana pranaya raga anuraga.
Yeah, these are all levels above prema.
Yeah.
Means bhakti is very deep. I mean, there are more and more levels of devotion, and the pure devotees can go to.
So because we have forgotten Krishna, we are entangled in so many unnecessary demands, and in this material nature, we are trying to counteract this material nature by material solutions, and they're further entangling us and like that. So we don't have to fight with material nature. We have just to give up. I cannot fight. I take shelter of Krishna. The result is that there is no end to material activities, life after life. So these are endless. Anadi karma phale, diva nishi hiyajvale. अनादि कर्म फले दीवा निशि हियाज्वले ना देखी उपाय. Huh?
जय तो न कोई उपाय.
So since time immemorial, our heart is burning in this day and night in different species of life. Shokagnina sakala yoni shudahya manaha. Prahlad Maharaj also says, because of this, yasmat priya priya viyoga sayoga janma shokagnina sakala yoni shudahya manaha. So there is a fire of lamentation burning in every species of life. Everybody is scorched by this fire of material existence. So, to get relief, we have to take shelter of Lord Nityananda, whose lotus feet are as cooling as millions of moons. That means when we come to Krishna consciousness, we take guidance, we come under the shelter of the devotees. We feel very, very like, happy. because you feel like somebody cares for you, and you feel like, yes, I will, if I follow these instructions, then I'll get relief from this, all this scorching heat of material existence. And that's the first symptom of devotional service. Of course, pure devotional service is immediate relief from all distress and all anxiety. So, because now you have shelter. As Prabhupada said, when he was walking on the beach of Juhu, he said, this dog, there was a street dog, and then there was a dog which was owned by a master. So he says, what is the difference between the two dogs? This dog has a master and he's protected and he's happy. And this street dog is nobody. So he's feeling very anxious and insecure and is in difficulty. And on a street dog, the children may throw stones and nobody's there to protest. But you can't throw stones at somebody whose dog has a master, right? Then the master will say, why are you throwing stones at my dog? So there is somebody to protect. So then the dog also feels secure. So we have to become the dog, right? What is that song? Kukur.
सर्वस्व तुम्हार चरणे संपियो पड़े छे तुम्हारा घरे.
Yeah. So this is in relation to the Vaishnavas, or is it in relation to Krishna? Sarvasya.
I think Krishna.
Okay. Krishna. So either Krishna's dog or the dog of the pure devotee. So then it's the same. So first we have to become the dog of the pure devotee, and then we can become dear to Krishna like that. So the result is that there is no end to material activities, life after life.
And it's very rare to find pure devotees. And if somebody surrenders to someone and is disappointed with their behavior, as you're saying, that everybody has a responsibility then to take care of others, encourage them, appreciate them. But then if they don't do it properly, then it's just disappointing. So it's very, I mean, pure devotees are very rare.
Yeah, but we can, we cannot say who is pure devotee, who is not pure devotee like that. That's also there. But there are, spiritual masters who are like in very good standing for so many years. They have surrendered their lives to another pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, right? So we can take shelter of those. They've spent years and years in devotional service, and right. So
Yeah, but I mean, they have so many disciples.
mhm.
They can't give full on attention to everyone.
Yeah. So yeah, on a day-to-day basis, you're saying, right, moment to moment like that. So yeah, that is. But during Prabhupada's time, I don't know how the disciples were taking instructions from Srila Prabhupada. So instructions like we say also that Prabhupada didn't, his spiritual master Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was also a pure devotee. And he only met his spiritual master 5 or 6 times or 7 times. And he was not living with his spiritual master, but then he got instruction from his spiritual master and he followed that instruction, and then that gave him success of life or something like that. So
Yeah, and at that time also, Prabhupada's god brothers were quite envious of him. They were not supporting him, so he only had the instruction of his spiritual master
mhm,
that he followed.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because he followed, then he got success in his spiritual life. So that is there. Yeah, he got he spread the Krishna consciousness. That's what this was saying. Akinchana Krishna Das Babaji, right? He was saying that by Prabhupada, because he had faith in the holy name of Krishna, and also he followed the instructions of his guru to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. So, yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru tasya tahi katitartha prakashanti mahatmana.
Yeah. I mean, it's the guru as well as it's the other devotees that are impacting everyone. As you said, it's a society where everybody should love each other, should have friendship, and encourage and appreciate each other, because that's the mental status of the person gets affected. So everybody has a responsibility like that.
Yeah, correct. Everybody, like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. So there is all the devotees. It's not only our Diksha Guru or everybody, all the Shiksha. Everybody should help in coming closer to Krishna. And if there are some misunderstandings, there'll be always misunderstandings, because this Kali Yuga is an age of quarrel and misunderstandings, and things happen because everybody has anarthas in their heart. So that's why Prabhupada says it's an austerity to cooperate to push forward this movement. Because in this age it is very difficult, because everybody has big false ego. I mean, we are all contaminated, so we have our own conditionings, and my conditioning and your conditioning is conflicting, and that's what happened actually after Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's departure. Then what happened is there were some friction, and then the whole this dynamic force of
Because
collapse.
they were keeping their own material desires in the center rather than keeping the guru's words, right? Everybody wanted a room, like the room that they like in that Bagh Bazaar temple, and name, fame, prestige, puja pratishtha. That
Yeah. So sometimes, yeah, that is one thing is because of our own agenda of keeping ourselves in the center. So when you have your agenda of keeping yourself in the center, and I have my agenda of keeping myself in the center, then there'll be like clashes. So that is one thing. And sometimes there is a difference in the understanding of philosophical things, like when this jiva issue came up, right? Whether the jiva fell from the spiritual sky or where, then there was a lot of devotees who didn't agree with one version, and they started their own, because there was philosophical. So like this, Maya will try to create some dissension between the devotees, because if there is quarrel or disagreements and things like that between devotees, then the whole force will become reduced. So this is what happens in Kali Yuga. That's what happened with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's movement. So, that is why we have to see and that how we are not impacted by all these things. And when there is misunderstanding, we should understand that this is all the effect of the illusory energy. Um, and then we should approach somebody the way of ISKCON resolve and so many things like that, by which you can resolve all the differences. There are differences between devotees and things like that. Every temple, there's something going on. Because we are all human beings with our own conditioning, and it can happen at the highest level also. Like this Diksha Guru. Whether women can act as Diksha Gurus or not. There is a big difference. It's a philosophical point. But there are so many on one side, and there are so many on the other side, and there's all this discussion happening, and one side may not agree with. But at the end of the day, we have to cooperate somehow or other. So, otherwise, what will happen is it will create factions and things like that, and then the force will be lost. So that is why I don't know, they say that we have to cultivate Trinadapi Sunichena. Tarorapi Sahishna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. If we are in that consciousness, then we can actually, you know, respect others and not put ourselves in the center, and then there can be cooperation if everybody is in that mood. Otherwise, it's difficult. Okay, so the result is that there is no end to material activities, life after life. Before us, there are varieties of living entities, and everyone is entangled in transmigrations and activities. So, every living being in the material world is entangled in so many different. Our duty is simply to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of God and let Him take charge, for He knows what is good for us. Just as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed the example, right? He said, he presented himself as a fool before his spiritual master, and he told him, I am, what is that, Ami Murkha. And then the spiritual master told him, yes, you don't need to do anything, you just chant Hare Krishna. So, it is not that we remain fools, but we present like that. I don't know anything, you tell me what is good for me. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even Sanatana Goswami, when he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he presented like that. I'm a fool, I don't know, I'm very learned. He knew everything. Sanatana Goswami was learned. But at that point, he presented himself as a fool. So then we can take guidance and instructions. Our duty is simply to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of God, let Him take charge, for He knows what is good for us. Prthu Maharaj therefore tells the Lord that as the Supreme Father, He may elect to bestow whatever He considers beneficial for Prthu Maharaj. That is the perfect position of the living entity. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us in his Shikshashtaka, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagdishi shakamaye, mama janmani, janmani ishvare, bhavatat bhakti rahetu kitvai. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire to enjoy beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service in my life, birth after birth. So if our desire is only to do devotional service, then there will be not so much disturbances, right? Because I'm worried about doing devotional service. I have to worry about how I can become purified at heart and how I can do devotional service to Krishna. So, it is with me. It is my responsibility to save myself. So, if I'm worried about how I can become dear to Krishna, how I can please Krishna, then that's like, if that is the only desire, then you're a pure devotee. That's the only desire. I don't have any desire for followers. Followers means name and fame, like that. Like in that Nectar of Devotion, there is a statement, right? Those who want to become important, either in the material or spiritual sense, cannot relish the sweet taste of bhakti. Right? So even in the spiritual sense, material sense, we just want to please Krishna. So my desire is only to please Krishna. So if we have that, then we'll be happy always, because there is no hankering for these material things, followers or beautiful women or wealth or anything like that. So I only want your causeless devotional service in my life, birth after birth. Of course, because we are in society of devotees, then that's why there is little, sometimes there is friction and all these things happen. But internally, I have the desire to go back home, back to God. I want to maybe not even go back home, back as this verse says. I just want to be engaged in service of the Lord, birth after birth. I just have desire to please Krishna. Then we are in good situation. The conclusion is that the pure devotee should not aspire after any material benefit from devotional service, nor should be enamored with fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. He should always be engaged favorably in the service of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. So he doesn't want anything, but he just wants to make Krishna smile. And of course, when the devotees smile, then Krishna is smiling also. Because we say, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, Yasya prasadat nagati kutopi. So when we please the pure devotees, then automatically Krishna is pleased. So if we please the devotees, then Krishna is. So that's why sometimes Prabhupada says, serving devotees is higher than serving Krishna. So okay. So any other comments on this verse? Okay. The Radharani is the representative of the devotee. So Prabhupada says, if you want to get Krishna's favor, then you should go through Radharani. That means the favor of the devotee is important in getting, like all these disciples of Srila Prabhupada, right? They please Srila Prabhupada. And Mahat Seva, what is that verse? Mahat Seva.
Mahat Kripa
Mahat Kripa.
Punav Karne Krishna Bhakti Samsara.
So bhakti comes from bhakta, we say. So it is by service to the devotees. Narad Muni, we say like that, he became. So when the devotees are pleased, then they will, from their heart, they will bless us, and their blessing will result in our purification of heart and coming closer to Krishna. Okay. Like in the spiritual world also, there is groups, right? There is leader of every group and they're serving under the guidance of that leader as manjaris or under some, they are under some like that, there are groups, right? And Rupa Manjari is of course the leader of all the manjaris. And under her guidance, then everybody is serving. So, okay. So next verse. The great sage Maitreya continued by saying that the Lord, the seer of the universe, after hearing Prthu Maharaj's prayer, addressed the king. My dear king, may you always be blessed by engaging in my devotional service. So now, Vishnu is speaking. He is giving his blessing. Always be engaged in my devotional service. Only by such purity of purpose, as you are yourself very intelligently express, can one cross over the insurmountable illusory energy of Maya.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is Prthu Maharaj incarnation of Lord, right?
Shakti Vishavtar.
Shakti.
Yeah, so he's saying, may you always remain engaged in my devotional service. And that is because your purpose is pure, there is purity of purpose. You can cross the insurmountable illusory energy of Maya. So by devotional service, there are many verses like that. Samashitaye patapallava plavam mahat padam punyo yasho murari bhavam buddhir vatsa padam param padam 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 yadvipadam natesha. And there is another verse also like that. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, wherein the Lord also claims that the illusory energy is insurmountable. Mama Maya Durattaya. No one can transcend the illusory energy of Maya by fruitive activity, speculative philosophy, or mystic. You have to only surrender, or mystic yoga. The only means for transcending illusory energy is devotional service, as the Lord Himself states, Mam eva ye prapadyante, maya metam tarantite. If we want to cross over the ocean of material existence, there is no alternative than to take to devotional service. A devotee, therefore, now devotional service can also be under the mixed modes of nature, right? We have some devotional service in the mode of goodness, in the mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So when Prabhupada says devotional service means pure devotional service. A devotee therefore should not care for any material position, whether in heaven or in hell. A pure devotee should always engage in the service of the Lord, for that is his real occupation. So he is satisfied with service to the Lord. If I can serve the Lord, I am satisfied. And there are varieties of service. Simply by sticking out to that position, one can overcome the stringent laws of material nature. So always remaining the servant of the Lord, then we will become like liberated from the laws of material nature. So always having that mood mentality of being the servant. I'm ready to carry out your order. That's basically the mood. Gopi Bharto Padakamalayor Dasa Dasa no Das. Then when we become Das, then we can get out. Okay. Mahat Seva Dwara Mahur Vimukti Tamo Dwaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. Samachitta Prashanta Vimanyava Suridasa Mahantaste Samachitta Prasanta Vimanyava. So service to the great souls opens the door to liberation. Prasangamajaram Pasham Atmana Kavevi. Okay. And that service is of two types, Vapu and Vani. So service to the following the instructions. Okay. Any comments on this verse? So when we serve in ISKCON, right, we are serving all the devotees. Supposing you are doing like, we are pushing on the movement, right? Everything is happening. Like if you are cutting vegetables or doing some service, then you are doing service to all the Vaishnavas also, or to Krishna also, because that is also being offered to Krishna. Then all the Vaishnavas are going to eat that prasadam, and then new people will come, so they will also become attracted by the prasadam, and they will keep coming. So it's like, yeah, you are preaching also indirectly, because people come for prasadam many times, right? They like the prasadam and then they come. That's why at our prasadam time it's the highest crowd. And everybody is there. So okay. Anything else I'd like to say? So in this, that's why Prabhupada says you should never leave ISKCON. Because ISKCON is my body, he said like that. Right, he said somewhere ISKCON is my body. So this is Prabhupada's movement, and we are serving in Prabhupada's movement. Prabhupada's.
No, you can go ahead.
ISKCON is my body. What does it mean? Prabhupada once said, ISKCON is my body. What exactly does it mean? To be able to understand it, first of all, we need to define what body means. Often we take the body in the sense of self. If we take into this meaning, then when we see Prabhupada says ISKCON is his body, we'll get the idea that ISKCON is not different from Prabhupada. We'll understand that ISKCON is Prabhupada. This will lead us to the idea that it is not possible to serve Prabhupada if one is not directly connected with the institution, or that to criticize any aspect of the institution means to directly offend Prabhupada, for example. It may also lead to the idea that the institution must be perfect, since Prabhupada is perfect, which in turn can lead one to lose faith in his Prabhupada and his teachings, if proved that the institution is not as perfect as he or she imagined. However, this understanding may not be very correct. Even in the scriptures, we hear that the body is not our real self, rather, the body is like a vehicle or instrument that we use to operate in this material world. Our real self is spiritual, and the body is a vehicle that we use to interact with this world. In the sense, the word body is not the same as self. Rather, body means instrument or vehicle. Body can also be understood as energy, in the sense of energy being manifestation of one's power and being used to achieve some goal. What difference does it make? When we understand this sentence in the sense of ISKCON being the instrument or vehicle Srila Prabhupada uses to interact and change the world, we can have much healthier relationship with it. A tool or vehicle does not need to be perfect. The perfection is the one using it, not in the instrument itself. If we understand that ISKCON is an instrument, we understand that we are also part of it, and therefore we also have our share of responsibility in maintaining it. As an instrument is not perfect, it can be improved, and we can be a part of this improvement. And in this way, do our part in assisting Srila Prabhupada in accomplishing his mission. Being a material object, an instrument can also be misused, and it's certainly our responsibility to prevent this from happening. Another meaning is that although the body is also important, the most important component is the soul inside the body. This means that ISKCON as the body of Srila Prabhupada hides something more valuable inside, that are his teachings. When we interact with the body, our relationships remain quite shallow. When someone's father dies, one cries that his father is gone, while the body with which he interacted his whole life is still there. Still notices something is missing and cries his father is gone. This means he never met his father. Similarly, we may interact with just the body of Prabhupada, and in case our relationship with him will remain shallow and superficial, he will always remain a complete stranger to us. On the other hand, one who associates with the soul in the form of his teachings will have much deeper understanding of him. So it's nice. Okay, so it's a tool, it's a vehicle. There may be some imperfections also. As you were saying, right? ISKCON is like a hospital. There are different patients in the hospital. Each one has his own disease. So sometimes things can happen in this. But Prabhupada said also that if you're on a ship, you're crossing the ocean, and if there is some fight on the ship, you don't just leave the ship and jump into the ocean. Then you're done. You stay on the ship, try to resolve things in an amicable way and stay on the ship. And sometimes if you don't like one temple, you can go to another temple. That's also Bhakti Charu Maharaj used to say like that. If there is some problem, you don't feel comfortable in one place, then you go to some other place where, of course, there are going to be some issue somewhere or the other. No place is going to be perfect. But yeah, if so like that, but we can remain in the association of devotees, because ISKCON is giving us the association of devotees. And if everybody starts their own society, then it will become very difficult. Okay. So, you want to say something? It's 8:05. We are going to stop here. Anything you would like to sing or share or say anything?
Yeah, I was saying that, yeah, as you're saying, we should not leave. I mean, if something happens, then we should not give up chanting the holy name and having faith in Prabhupada that at least he's a pure devotee, and and reading his books and connecting to the seeing the lectures. And
Correct.
because the philosophy is perfect, yes, you may have some bad experience with some devotees.
Yeah.
And then we have to find at least one devotee who has this characteristics of sajatiya sangha snigdasya, and one who's little advanced than you.
Yeah. It may not be completely perfect like every time, but we have to find some things where, because everybody will have some imperfection, but yeah, so if we are looking for the perfect thing, then that is may not be possible, because everybody's mentality is different and things are not exactly the same, right? Always. So at least most of the time, where you feel comfortable like that. So that is there. Yes. So okay. Any other comments? And Maya will try to create also some, because the threat may not be from outside, but when, like they say, it's like one stick can be broken easily, but you have four sticks, then it's difficult to break. So how to break the whole thing? Maya tries to like the sticks are together, and it tries to separate the sticks and break. So that's how it internally there is some, when the unity is lost and things like that, then there is, then one devotee doesn't want to see another devotee, and they don't want to, participate like in that. So there is no, like that. Then it becomes bitterness and things like
Yeah,
that.
so
And
everybody has to keep aside their false ego and remain humble.
correct. Trinadapi Sunichina. We are supposed to be wearing this verse around our neck, right? Trinadapi Sunichina.
Yeah, like they were saying that we should see everybody as like holding one sign which says "I'm very fragile." Means like how we handle glass. Glass is very fragile, right? Mishandling will break. So everybody is holding an invisible sign. I am very fragile.
Yeah, we
Means
are all very.
everybody is very sensitive. So
Correct.
we should be extremely careful and humble in dealing with others.
We are all very fragile because Maya's little this thing, and everything can fall apart. Right? So we should always feel we are very vulnerable. We are very fragile. So little bit thing happen, and then I can lose some whatever. So we have to always like pray to Krishna also, right? As you were saying. I think you were saying in the class yesterday, or Prabhupada. No, that Prabhupada is always praying.
Mhm. Let me never fall down.
Yeah, I need your protection. Right? Yeah, correct. So we should always think that I'm very vulnerable. So we should be in a very prayerful mood and taking shelter. So, and that thing can come in any way. Either it can come in terms of temptation, or somebody says something to us, and then we just, it has happened, right? Like Bhakti Charu Maharaj also, he had left the movement first time in Mayapur. He had joined, and then somebody said something to him, or something happened, and he left Mayapur, and he went back to his home. And then Jayapataka Maharaj, he sent some devotee, and then he like convinced him, and he brought him back. So there is something like that about book. Was it that in the book?
No, I didn't read that.
Okay, he was saying maybe in some, because some devotee might have said something and then he left and he went back to his home. Then Jayapataka Maharaj was sending somebody.
Yeah. So we should think that anybody who has come to the temple, they say, right?
Hmm.
I mean, what is said about that? Like after so many millions of births, that this person has come to the temple. We should make all our attempts to keep them.
Yeah, correct. They say, like Prabhupada says, when somebody leaves, it's 50% their fault and 50% your fault. Something like that also he said. So should try to, it takes.
Yeah.
Huh?
So be amazed at not how many people come to the temple, but who are coming to the temple. Be amazed at that.
How
Means,
many, don't be surprised at how many leave, but how many stay.
hmm.
So, so that is also there. And yeah, they say we have to shed gallons of blood to make one devotee. And then after that, then somebody leaves, then it is. Of course, everybody has their free will, and Krishna does not also interfere. So we cannot hold anybody against their will, but we should do our best. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also, right? That devotee who was, they were opening the temple and the devotee was not found, and they said, okay, go and find the devotee where he is.
Mhm. And for Krishna, everybody is his children, right? And Krishna is so pleased. If we please the devotees, and Krishna is pleased. So then he will make us advance, and that's where advancement happens, by mercy of Krishna, when Krishna is pleased with how we interact with others and keep them happy in Krishna consciousness.
Correct. And if somebody is offended, just say sorry. And if it is keeping that devotee, right, you say sorry and you apologize and you learn from it and don't make that mistake again. We are also conditioned souls, so we have to repeatedly sometimes, go through some things before we learn our lessons. So, yeah. So just if your taking a humble position is going to retain the devotee, then take a humble position. Then that person can be an asset to the movement, because we are doing it for Prabhupada. We want Prabhupada's movements, and everybody can play a part in pushing on this movement of Srila Prabhupada. And we need so much services in our temple, right? We have always lack of manpower. So we have to retain the devotees and encourage them to do more service.
So Prabhuji, we have this devotee care program at our temple, right?
Yeah, that happened. That seminar happened, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think seminar happened, and few devotees are taking some initiative, right, around devotee care.
I'm not aware of that. Maybe it is happening. There's some.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to say, I think in we focus on focus should be on getting new devotees, but also emphasis on making sure the current devotees who are present. But
Yeah.
I don't see much effort is placed around bringing those devotees who have left back, left the temple. Um,
Uh,
that should also be one of
somebody
our
has
focus
left. I
area.
don't know who's left the temple. I mean, everybody has
It's
their.
those who are not coming, like they were coming previously and now we don't see them.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
reach
right.
out to them and say,
But
why are you not
sometimes,
coming?
we call
Once
them,
in
but they don't. If they don't come, like there is some person, right? We are calling, please come, but they are not coming. So we keep calling, and one day they will come back. But we can't force them to come, also, right?
right, right. Our effort should
Yeah.
continue, but
Yeah, and it affects them that somebody is, I mean,
Yeah. Taking
thinking about them and
mhm.
texting them, please come. And one day they'll come.
I remember, when I came, I was just telling my mom yesterday, Prem Singh the Prabhu used to call me, before every program. It's like to make sure that I'm gonna be there, me and Alankar. And then once if you miss, then next week will be full of calls. Will you be coming?
Yeah.
So that would probably made us come to those programs and feel cared about.
That's why we should, because there are so many, people, so we have to call. Of course, there are new people and then there are existing, maybe not so many, but yeah, so we have to have a team of people who will call because one person can't call everybody, right? So we call, we divide and we call them. And that is, of course, we send email and that thing, but people don't look at emails now. Sometimes there is so many emails coming. Some may look, I'm not saying, but calling is more personal because like you are talking to them one on one. Email, they may think that it is a bulk email that is going out to so many people. And so now we may not have time to call everybody. So we can have like a team. Like we used to call for Mahasatsang before. We made a team. Sadbhuj was there and others were there. And like we divided into things and we were calling people for the Mahasatsang. So like that we can call. Okay, so we should make all efforts to retain devotees. Then,
Yeah, everybody has that responsibility.
correct. Because otherwise, if we get new people and the existing people leave, then it's like a pot with a hole. You're putting in water, but some leak is also happening outside from the hole. So that's why Prabhupada sometimes he said, even if you can't expand, just maintain what I've given you. So that's also there. Okay. So some temples like where devotees don't like to leave because they feel this environment is so nice. I don't want to leave. And like when Giriraj Maharaj, right, his father came and said, "I'll give you $1,000,000. You come back." Even though he's going through so much austerity, he must be feeling something in that, in his love for Srila Prabhupada, that he doesn't want to leave. Whatever. So it should come to like that environment that it is so nice that everybody feels so inspired that they don't want to leave. So and so happy that they don't want to leave. And then it will be very good. There are temples like that, right? Chopati and others where there brahmacharis have been living there for years and years. So 30 years like that. Mayapur also so many devotees. So if they are cared for, people, respect, appreciate, and then there may be some conflicts. That is nature of this world. Inevitably, there will be some things, but overall, yeah, no, then there is rectification and things like that. And people will like to stay. So that's how we want to create in ISKCON Columbus a very good environment, so that people look forward to coming. Right? Okay. So it's 8:20. Anything else? We can read that book. I'm done.
I have to go to the temple for cutting vegetables.
Oh, so then we can chant. I have some chanting to do. So we chant Japa. Okay. So you all can chant if you're not finished your 16 rounds. It's good to finish in the morning if you can, because then you know how the day goes, and then from my experience it's difficult for me. So at least 16 rounds we should finish morning if you can. So we can chant. You may be chanting from before I joined today, so you may have finished already. But if you have not, then you can chant. Okay, otherwise we can leave. It's up to you. Okay, so we are going to stop here on this YouTube.